Amen. Come on, let's give a warm welcome to Rene, Martinez. Come on.
Amen. God bless y'all.
Come on.
Hallelujah. Feel the Holy Ghost.
Hallelujah.
Praise God. Praise God. I want to thank the man of God for allowing me to speak. And I want to talk about my life and how God put me out the pit and what caused me to get involved with gang banging and everything. It all started back when I was a kid. My dad was never there for me. And
Come on.
my mom was on drugs. She was an alcoholic. She was on cocaine. And she was also into a religion called Santeria. And I remember being 5 years old, and I remember they were sacrificing animals in my house. And they were pouring blood, the chicken blood on top of the kids. And I knew I was next. I said, oh man, I was scared. And I ran and I hid under a couch. And I remember they dragged me from under the couch by my feet, stuck me in a bathtub, and there was a goat. And they sacrificed the goat and they poured the blood down my body. And it's like immediately the next day, I started seeing demons. They were calling my name and everything, and it's like I saw them my whole life. And I would get held down in my sleep. I would see them walking around the house. My mom wasn't home, and when she was home, she was doing Santeria parties where people would get possessed, and they call it muertos montados, but it's really demons. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. So by the time I was 9, 10 years old, I didn't want to be home. So I started hitting the streets. Lived in a very gang-infested neighborhood in Miami. It was by Chino Park on 47th Avenue. And started hanging with older dudes. And I walked into the neighborhood gang at the age of 13. And we started breaking into houses. We started breaking into cars. And it was one night we stole a car. I was 14 years old. We stole a car and we're just cruising. You know, we went for a joyride. And it's like 2 in the morning. We're 14 years old. The oldest kid was 15. He was the driver. The lights turn on. We get on a high-speed chase. We're doing speeds of like 100. We're flying through red lights. Next thing you know, the guy goes to make a left turn. We hit him right on the driver door. The man died on impact. I flew out the window. I don't remember nothing. I mean, I ended up in a coma. I had a 5% chance of living. We all had to get airlifted. And I was in a coma. So I'm in the hospital, and my mom comes to the hospital, and she tells me that for the first time in her life, she said she actually, you know, she got on her knees, and she said, Jesus, Lord, I don't know if you're real, but if you're real, give me my son's life back. I woke up, and when I woke up, I had all my bones were broken. And I was hanging my pins in my legs. Then when they took the pins out of my legs, they stuck me in a full body cast. Then from the body cast, I was in a wheelchair. I didn't know how to walk again. It was a real hard time in my life, and I hated it. And you know, and like my mom, she asked Jesus, you know, she said, give me my son's life back and take everything from me. You know, when I started walking again, she had a little Corvette. Her car got stolen. She didn't pay the insurance, and now she's on foot. We got evicted out of our house. The city came to the house. They were throwing everything in the middle of the street, so we ended up homeless. We moved into the back of a video store, and God took everything from my mom, just like she asked him. And the video store where we lived at, it was smaller than this. It's like, it was really small. And I remember my mom got so depressed, all she would do was drink alcohol, pop pills, and go to sleep. She slept for like a whole year. Just slept, drink alcohol, pop pills, go to sleep. And I was back in the streets. I didn't learn my lesson. I stole cars again, breaking into houses, man. That's all I ever knew. That's the way I grew up. I grew up in the streets. That's all I ever knew. I felt like the dudes I was with were my brothers. I said, this is my family, because I never had a family. I looked at them like my family, which is a lie. It's a lie from the devil. So I'm in the streets, you know, robbing, you know, wilding out. And one day I got back to the video store, and I found my mom with her wrist cut open, overdosed on pills, for the second time in my life. Because I had found her earlier, like when I was 10 years old, she tried to commit suicide on pills, and they had to pump her stomach. So now this is the second time in my life that I find my mom half dead. Now I'm 15 years old. So I called 911, they came and got her. She's in the hospital. But before she tried to commit suicide, she wrote Jesus Christ a letter. She said, Jesus, Lord, she said, all I want is my family back. I want my mother back. I want my sister back, because her sister cut her off because of the way she was living. And everybody cut my mom off because my mom was messed up. So she said, Jesus, I want my family back. You know, my son's involved with the gangs. I need help because I'm ready to take my life. And then that's when she tried to commit suicide. But while she was writing that letter, my tia had went to some other lady's house with her friend, and this lady's talking to her friend about Jesus. So my aunt is listening, and she's like, you mean to tell me this Jesus can save my sister? And she said, yeah, Jesus will do that. So all this is happening while my mom is writing that letter. And my aunt left, and she has a vision of my mom. This is like 4 days later. She has this vision of my mom. There's a big pit on the floor. It's a hole, and there's nothing but flames in the bottom. And my mom's hanging like by 2 fingers. And she has this vision. She said it was so clear. And there was a man like with a shawl covered, and he came and he picked her up from the pits.
Yes.
And she heard, go get your sister. And she saw the face of death of my mom. Like her face was like almost transparent. So my aunt she found out where the video store was at. She came. They were hugging, crying, and they ended up going to a retreat together. They never knew Jesus, nothing. They ended up going to a retreat together for a whole week. And man, I'll tell you, in that one weekend, my mom stopped snorting cocaine. My mom stopped smoking cigarettes. My mom stopped everything. All the drugs she was buying, all the alcohol, everything out the door. Never again. Like God transformed her like that. So now she's praying for me, and I'm like, she starts telling me about this Jesus. I'm like, oh, this lady now, she really lost her mind. And what is she talking about? You know, like I didn't understand that. I'm like, no, this is crazy. So it was like nights that I would wake up, and I've had all these little old ladies praying over me in my sleep, and I wake up and I look, and I'm like, I'm out of here, and I leave. I leave for like weeks. So it ended up, you know, to the point where I moved out. And then I got locked up for attempted murder at 16. I was facing adult charges. They were trying to send me to prison. They sent me to a juvenile facility. I got out, back involved with the homies in the hood. Didn't learn my lesson, you know. It just got worse. Started doing drive-bys. Started walking up on people. I shot one of my own friends for talking to one of my enemies. And I thank God I didn't kill him. I was on another level. We started kicking in doors, robbing the dope boys, tying them up, taking the drugs, leaving. FBI was investigating us. They cracked down on a bunch of my friends. They were trying to get my friends to snitch on me. It was just crazy. And so my life was like in and out of jail my whole life. It's like I get out of jail, more homies dead, now we're riding on them. The other side is dying and we're dying, and it was all a lie from the devil. Everybody was dying. So as time kept going on, it's like I just got worse and worse. And eventually, like you saw on the documentary thing, my daughter's born. So I'm like, when my daughter's born, man, when I saw her take her first breath, for the first time in my life, I saw the meaning of life.
Amen.
Like, man, it was like something happened to me. And I'm like, man, I gotta really change my life for my daughter, man, because I felt like I was gonna die. I knew I was gonna die but it's kind of like I didn't have Jesus. So when you don't got Jesus in your life, there's no way you're gonna walk, you know. So the gang life was dragging me back in. So man, I'm back in the hood. I'm a good daddy to my daughter, but I'm not a good daddy at the same time, because I'd be good to her and then I'd leave with the homeboys, and I'd be strapped up with pistols and all kind of craziness. So now I walk into this church. I remember this is in 2003 for my homeboys. Like, come on, let's go to church. And I'm like, man, I ain't with that church stuff, man. He's like, man, let's just go one time. I went that one time. When I went, the pastor was preaching on gangs, and I was like, it was tugging at my heart, like so hard. I felt something inside, and I remember when he did the altar call, my homeboy slapped me on the shoulder. He said, come on, let's go up there. as he's walking up, I didn't want to go up, but I got up. And as I'm walking up, the unexplainable happened. I'm balling my fist up because I felt like I was going to cry. And I'm like, man, I ain't soft. And I'm like, I ain't soft. And I broke down crying like a baby. Yeah, I broke down crying like a baby, man. I cried for 2 whole days. I cried. And man, I'm telling you, my mom was like, that's God washing away your pain. But like a week later, I forgot about God and I ran from God. And now I started doing bare knuckle fights, like you saw up there. I started fighting for money. I got back into robbing people. I got back into the streets and it just got even worse, man. It got worse. I started doing gangster music. I was writing some dark, murderous lyrics. The devil, man, music is witchcraft, man. If you don't glorify God, music is witchcraft, man. So, as time went on, I'm fighting, I'm traveling. I became a professional fighter, traveling across the world. I had the fame, the money. Man, I could have, I could have done so much with that, but that was in the world. And then in 2015, something happened to me. I remember I was in the studio, and them demons that would hold me down my whole life, and I would even see them sometimes when I would look in the mirror in my face. And I remember this one night, I was sitting down and I was writing lyrics. And I'm writing lyrics in this straight murderous lyrics, and all of a sudden I felt that shadow. It overcame the garage, because I had a studio in my garage. And it felt like death was in the room. And I felt like death was calling me, and I was like, man, I'm gonna die. I felt it. It was unexplainable, the feeling I caught. And all of a sudden I heard the voice of God, and he said, I spared you for such a time as this. You come in now. I'm gonna take my hedge of protection off of you, man. I got on my knees. I started crying out to God by myself. Started crying out to God, and it's like God started to work on me. He started to shape and mold me, and I ended up started going to a church, and I was still struggling with some things. See, because I tell people, when you come to God, you ain't perfect. You're not perfect. Because I always tell people, repent. They're like, I ain't ready yet. But the problem is they don't understand that you come dirty. Like when you stick your dirty clothes in the washer, there's a process. It starts getting washed, and then it comes out clean, right? That's what happened to me. I came to God. I started going to church. I was going to church. I'd get back in my car, and I still had some of my old ways. I'll get in the car. I throw on Tupac sometimes. And it was like, I still had, so I'm like, man, and I started getting convicted about it. I started getting conviction, and it wasn't until I lined up, a kid got killed in a drive-by, and God gave me a vision. He said, start these events in Miami called Peace in the Hood, all in the projects. So I started doing these events called Peace in the Hood, and I met with one of my brothers, praise God. One of my brothers from New Orleans flew down. His name was Andy. His name's Andy. He's a pastor up in New Orleans. He flew down to Miami. We did the event together. So after the event was done, I was like, brother, I ain't got no like-minded. I go to drop him off at the airport. I'm like, brother, I ain't got no like-minded soldier. No like-minded soldiers to go put in work for the kingdom of God. Nobody is down with that over here. So he said, man, let's pray. We started praying in the car. He said, Lord, send level some like-minded soldiers to go put in work for the kingdom. He was praying. That was on Thursday. That was on Sunday. On Thursday, I was feeding the homeless, and I see this guy with this big Jesus shirt on. He has teardrops on his face. And I'm walking, and I'm like, man, I like your shirt, homie. And he looks at me. And I'm like, is this dude a gang member? And he's like, praise God, because he was just getting persecuted. They were like, oh, look at that Jesus freak. Look at that Jesus. They were laughing at him. He was telling me. So now I walk up and I'm like, man, I like that shirt, homie. And so he's like, praise God. So I'm like, where you going? He's like, I don't know. I said, man, you want to feed the homeless with me? He's like, come on. So we go to feed the homeless. When this brother started speaking, I felt the fire of God coming out of his mouth. He started preaching to the multitudes in the beach. We were on South Beach, and everybody was like, wow. And he started giving me the real word. See, because I had never even opened up a Bible yet. I was just going to church, listen to the sermon, and get in my car and leave. See, there's a difference. There's church members and then there's disciples. God wants disciples, man. We gotta be radical for the Lord. I'm radical for the Lord. I'm radical. So he starts giving me the word and he says, man, have you been baptized in the name of Jesus Christ?
Yep.
Man, I said, take me to the beach right now. This was on April 10th, 2016. When I got in that water, whatever I was struggling with, I spoke to God from the bottom of my heart. I said, Lord, remove these things from me, Father. Remove these things from me. And let me tell you something. When I came out that water, a shift in my life happened. I ain't never been the same. I ain't never been the same again. And since that day forward, I've been going to prison, to project, everywhere, just preaching the gospel, unashamed of his name. Unashamed of his name. Because when we die, we're going to be face to face with him. And we want him to say, well done, my faithful servant. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him to say, depart from me, for I never knew you. No. Man, we soldiers of God, and man, it's an honor and a privilege. In my documentary, I won 2 awards at the Christian Film Festival, and praise God. I'm going to share this quick testimony. And I drove up to Orlando one day, and I did this showing on my documentary. I did a preview for it, and his brother flew down from Mexico. He came from Mexico, and he was supposed to go to the theme parks. And for some reason, they overslept, him and his wife, and they didn't make it. So he goes on his phone, and he checks his phone. He's like, oh my God, Level's here in Orlando, showing his documentary. Let's go watch that. So they show up to Orlando, and man, the brother got touched by the documentary, and fast forward a year later, he got kidnapped by the cartel, and I'll let him tell the rest. I want to introduce my brother up, man. It's been a blessing. Thank y'all, man, for having this. God bless y'all. I love y'all. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, praise the Lord. Praise God.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Oscar. I'm from Mexico, Cancun. It's a blessing to be here. And well, just quick story. A month and a half ago, exactly October 14, I got kidnapped by the cartel in Cancun. I was gonna fly to Colombia because I have 24 barbershops in my country, and I travel all over the place to do barber seminars and all that. So I was gonna go to Colombia. My friends threw this getaway party for me, and when we were about to finish, I got in my car with my friend, and these guys just showed up and surrounded the car with R-15s, and they just like, get out, and they started cursing and everything. They got us out of the car, and then they took my car and they put me in the other car and they drove us, and they took us to this place, and they just hit my friend right here in the waist, in the ribs, got him on his knees, and boom, got his head right in front of me. And then they took me to this house, and then when I got to this house, they're like, get on your knees. So I got on my knees, and they put the guns on my head. And I was like, man, this is it. That's it. I'm gonna die right here. And they started tying up my legs from my ankles to my knees. They put my hands in the back, and then they tied my hands, and then they put a shirt on my face, and they just duct taped on my face, and they just stuck in a little square on my nose, and they threw me on the floor. And you know, in Mexico, you don't have AC like here, everywhere, so it's really hot, and it's Cancun, so it's so hot. And I'm sweating, and I'm all like, I'm worried and everything. So then they're like, wait till this guy comes. They call him Papa. So like, wait till Papa comes, he's gonna talk to you. So when he gets there, they turn me around, they take everything off, and these guys have masks, and they're just putting guns on my head like this. And they start talking to me, they start saying, oh, you know, you're gonna start selling dope in your barbershops, you're gonna give us $1 million bucks, you're gonna give us your cars, you're gonna give us this, you're gonna give us that, and we're gonna take everything from you. And I said, man, take whatever you want, but just don't spare my life. And he's like, well, they were talking, they took off my shoes, and they started putting these like metal rings on each toe. And after they were done, now in my mind, I'm like, man, what are they gonna do? And then he's like, open your mouth. So I open my mouth, and he puts my socks down my throat, and then they start duct taping, and he's like, turn up the body. And then they turn up the body, and they just connect the rings, have these cables, and they put them on the electricity thing. Boom, and it was shocking, man, and it hurt so bad, but crazy, man, all the way down to your head, and you feel like your brain like shaking. and they start shocking me, and all my hands are like twisting. And then they would pull it out, and they would just be laughing. I was like, please, like that, covering my face. And then they would be like, bring me some water. And then they would put water on my feet. And they would just do it again and do it again and do it again. They did it like 8 times. And then this guy, he's like, get the hammers, hammer him. So they start hammering me all up on my legs, on my neck, my legs, my knees, and everything. And he said, give me your hand. So I put my hand like this one. And he put my hand like that, and he's like, give me the hammer. So he was going to hammer my hand. I said, please, not my hands. And he's like, you prefer your foot? And I said, yeah. So he got my foot like this, and he started. But when he was about to hammer, I've been Christian all my life, and I served God 8 years. I was a pastor for the youth for 8 years.
Amen.
So I said, God, please take the pain away. So as soon as he was like that, I was saying that, and he started hammering it, and I saw how he was hammering my foot, and I was like, oh man, it don't hurt that much. So he was hammering it, boom, boom. And I was just I don't know if you were able to put the pictures, but we have pictures. We're short on time, but I have pictures. I was on the news, on the newspaper, on the TV, and I have the pictures of how my legs were. So in case you all want, later we could link up and I could show you everything. And I would see just the blood popping, and I was like, oh man, this is like a movie. And yeah, for real. And he was hammering me, and then he's like, I'm going to come back tomorrow, and then we're going to talk. So then he left. They put everything back on me, and then they would just make me smoke crack. They would cut like a little piece right here, put a can, and they would make me smoke crack all day. And they would put these narco corridos, all day. And I would just be laying there. I didn't know if it was daylight or nighttime, whatever, but 5 days I was like this, getting tortured, getting beat up, getting hurt, getting hammered. And by the 3rd day, I remember this guy came and he gave me the phone, and I spoke to him, and he's like, we already got in touch with your family. They're going to pay, so by tomorrow, you're going to be out. And I said, please, man, why don't you just let me call them, and I know where to get I got the money, and I give you everything. So they made me sign paperwork over for my cars and everything. And the next day went by, on the 4th day, and then they received a call. And I remember, but these guys, they would just get high, they would just throw parties, and they would come in, like I was laying there, no food, no water, no nothing. I would pee on myself, because they wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom. I was just laying there. And every time they would hit me with hammers and I would bleed, they would come with bleach and put bleach on my legs, and I would be smelling the bleach, and they would mess up my throat. So I was coughing, and every time I coughed, they would come and slap me. I'd be like, shut up, the food, this and that. And they would mess with your mind, because they would be like, man, we got your wife in the next room, and we're banging her, and we're torturing your kids, and you're going crazy because you don't know what's going on. You can't see, you can't do nothing. So I was like, the whole time I was mad at God, because I'm like, God, there's so many bad people out there that they should be in my position.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Why are you letting me go through this? I served you with all my life. I gave you 8 years of my life. I served the drug addicts. I had a rehab, and I served on the streets, and I'm a good dad, and I'm a businessman, and all of this, and I still go to church, and I help the church. I give my offering, and all of that. Why are you letting me go through this? So the 4 days I was mad. I wouldn't even pray. I wouldn't even do nothing. But the phone rings, and I hear him go outside. And he's like, sí, ok, le damos la última, ok, está bien. Y que Rancho Viejo, 6 de la mañana, perfecto. So he thinks, so in my mind now I got excited. I said, man, they beat me up the last time, wherever I take it, like a man. And they're going to drop me off in Rancho Viejo, but Rancho Viejo is the place where they throw the bodies. Actually, my friend, he got popped in Rancho Viejo. So I was like, man, this is, I don't know, it's weird. So he comes back in, and he's like, no sé qué le dijiste, papá. But everybody speaks Spanish, right? Dice, no sé qué le hiciste a papá, pero ahorita te vamos a dar la última, blah, 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 you know how they talk. Y te vamos a descuartizar y te vamos a tirar en Rancho Viejo a las 6 de la mañana. So when he said that, I was like, oh man, this is it. So for the first time, I felt fear, man. I felt like, oh man. So then they grab me, and they lift me up, they take out the tape from my legs, they put a sheet on top of my head, and they took me to a room upstairs. So we get to the room upstairs, I just feel him push me, and I fall to the floor, and this guy jumps on my chest, and he puts one foot on my stomach and the other foot on my throat, and he just like gets on top of me, and then this other guy grabs the hammer, but he turns it around, you know, with the part that you take the nails out, and he just starts hitting me in this leg. And the other guy with the picayelo, he starts stabbing me on my leg like this, boom. So I got the 3 guys on me, and I'm just like, you know, I'm right there. It did hurt really bad. And I was choking. I was like, me estaba desmayando. So in my mind, I was like, Oscar, this is it. Just let him kill you. Just die. Don't, because with my hands, I was trying to go like that. And I was like, just die. It's better for you to die like that than to get cut up in pieces. So I put my hands down and I just started going. Me empecé a desmayar like that. But then in my mind, I was like, no, man, you gotta leave. Come on. So I put my hands like this and I pushed him away. So when he got done, I remember I saw my legs and I saw all the blood. And I still have, you see a hole right here? This one went all the way to the bone. I have another hole right here. And all of this right here, I have holes from the ice pick. And I have a broken toe. I even have the radiografía, and you can see the toe is so broken. And I'm walking, I'm jumping, and everything, because that's how God works. So I'm laying there, and then he gets up on my face, and he put the ice pick on my cheek, and he's like, si llegas a gritar o a decir algo, a quejarte, te voy a picar todo el cachete hasta que llegue a la lengua y te voy a arrancar la lengua. And I was like, oh man, no, don't worry, I won't say nothing. So then they covered me up again, duct tape everything. And at that point, that's when I said, you know, I realized, because I had it all in Mexico. I have money, I have power, I have connections. I could buy whatever I want, I could travel whatever I want, I could do whatever I want. And that's when I knew. I said, you know, no matter what you have, the only one that can give and take life is God. So I was like, you know, that's when you know, no matter how many homies you have, no matter what clique you're from or whatever, or whatever you do, when you're in that position, the only one that can save you is Jesus. So I was sitting there and I said to myself, I started crying, because I remember that day, the day I got kidnapped, my kids were supposed to sleep in my house because I was divorced. And since they were going to throw a party for me, I told my ex-wife, I said, hey, take the kids. And my baby girl was crying when she left. She's like, Daddy, but íbamos a ver películas y me iba a quedar contigo. And I was like, sí, mi amor, pero mañana tengo que viajar a Colombia. And my ex-wife told me, how can you prefer partying than be with your kids? So when I was laying there, I started crying. And I said, I can't believe I didn't even get to say goodbye to my daughter. I can't believe I preferred this than my family.
Man.
And my head started going off. I said, man, I had it all, but I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I have money, I have power, I have fame, I had this, but I didn't have my kids, I didn't have my wife, I lost my wife, I lost the church, because I was a pastor for the youth for 8 years, and I preferred the money over the church, and I left it, and I said, I lost it all, and look where I'm at right now, depending on God. You know what I'm saying? So I was laying there, and I started crying, and I said, God, all I want you to ask me is 3 things. Please forgive me for everything I did, and let me go to heaven. The second one, please let them shoot me, and I don't want to get chopped off like the videos where you see them getting cut off, and I don't want to go through that. Please just let them shoot me. And the third one, I was like, God, I'm tired. I haven't slept in 4 days. I want to sleep. And boom, I passed out. I go to sleep, and then I wake up. I don't know what time it was. I don't know nothing, but when I wake up, you know, I have the shirt in my face and all covered like this. Since my elbows were against each other, and I couldn't breathe because they were crushing my ribs, so I couldn't sleep, I couldn't breathe, nothing. And it was hot, I was hungry, I was thirsty and everything. So I wake up, and then that's when God started working. Because I remember the story of Paul and Silas, how they escaped from prison. I don't know if you guys know the story. But I remember the story that they were preaching the word, and then they put him in jail. And they were like, okay, you want us to keep on preaching? Then let us out, put the guards to sleep, take this chains off, open the gate, and we'll be out to keep on preaching. So that story came to my mind, and I was like, God, you want me to serve you? You want me to leave? You're going to help me get out of here. You're going to put these guys to sleep. And I'm saying this in my mind. I'm laying there. There's blood all over the place. And I said, God, you're going to put these guys to sleep. You're going to help me take all this off. And I'm going to walk out of here. And if you do that, I give you my life. I give you everything. I leave everything. I leave everything. And I say that with all my heart. So after I said that, I went back to sleep. And you know what woke me up again? This guy snoring. I ain't gonna lie, I mean, I'm up here and I know what it is to be up here with the presence of God, and you cannot lie, you cannot mess around.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And if God brought me all the way from Cancun here, it's because He wants me to tell the truth. Right? So I was ready to, and these guys started snoring. So while they were snoring, I opened my eyes, but like this, and I'm like, oh man, they're snoring. But I would hear them like right here. And I was like, oh, God is doing His work. So I had the tape. So I was laying like this, and I moved my leg. Man, they grabbed me like a Christmas present, man. You know, there's no way I could escape. So I was like, yo dije, voy a abrir mis piernas para ver qué tan fuerte está. So I was like, uno, dos, and when I went on the third, I felt like a knife went through. Boom, and I ain't gonna lie, you know, I felt it just go right through the middle, and boom, it popped. And I was like, oh man. So I touched it like this, and it was this thick. And I felt it with my finger, and man, there's no, you know the duct tape. If you stretch it, you won't break it. And plus, I have wounds, no food, no nothing. So for 5 days like that, there's no way, you know, I could break that. And I was like, man, this is God. So I was free from my legs. But I'm making all these noises. These guys are just like, so I'm like, God, please don't wake him up. So the tape got off, and then I go to the corner, and me siento. So then I put my knee like this, and I start pulling the tape like that. I start spinning on my arm to let go of the tape like that. And then I was trying to pull this on, and I remember I felt like this my wrist was gonna pop, and I said, I don't care if it breaks, it pops, whatever, but I gotta get it out. So I pull it, and boom, it pulls out. And then I was free from my hands too. So I was like, man, all I have is my head. So you know, I start taking off the tape, and now you will hear the tape like that, and they got like. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I'm taking it off, and once it got to my mouth, la alcé así, and then I saw them, and they were like, I was right here, and they were right there on the bed. And I see them, and I'm like, oh man, I feel back down. Because you know, like when you're a kid, you cover yourself and you think you're invisible, right? So I'm like, man, they're not going to see me. So then I'm like, man, it's go time. So I take it off, and I get up. And as I get up, the room, the lights are on, these guys are sleeping, and then I'm standing there, and they're kidnappers, and I want to be free, so imagine the scene, and I'm just laying there, and I'm like, God, what should I do? So in my mind, I say, I'm going to grab the gun, I'm going to shoot them, but the guys from the bottom are going to hear me, so they're going to come up, and we're going to go over the war, and it's over. So I said, no, bad idea. So I said, there was a glass door, a sliding door in the back. And you know, us that we're from Mexico, you know, our windows, you cannot go out because they have all the metal and stuff on the outside, so nobody breaks in. So I said, there's no way I could jump out a window, so I gotta go out through a door. But I don't want to go outside from this room because these guys, there's more guys on the bottom. So there was a sliding door, and I said, I'm gonna go out through the back. So I said, I'm gonna grab the hammer. I'm gonna hammer one in the head, hammer the other one, jump through the bed, and go out the window. So I went up to the bed, and the lights are on, and when I'm about to grab the hammer, my hands start shaking, but bad. My hands are shaking, and I start shaking, my whole body starts shaking. And I'm like, man, what's going on? Because, you know, I was like, man, I'm not scared. You know, I'm mad at these guys, I can do it. But I started shaking, and then that's when he hit me. And God spoke to me and said, hey, I'm doing the miracle. I'm going to do it the whole way. You know what I'm saying? So I started shaking, and then I put my hand back, but that's when the devil came. And you know how when God is working with you, but at the same time, the devil always hits you with something. And the devil, a thought came to my mind and said, Oscar, are you ready for this? Because if you stay, they're going to kill you, and your family's going to move on. They're going to cry, but everything's going to be okay. But if you leave, they're going to be after you forever. You're going to lose it all. You're going to have to take your family, your brother, your sisters, your son, your daughter, your ex-wife. You're going to have to take everybody and leave the city, and you're going to lose it all. You will never be able to come back to Cancun. Are you ready for that? And I was like, oh man. So I said, no, I'm going to stay. So I went back, and I sat down in the corner, and I just put my head down, and I said, I'm going to wait till these guys wake up, and they just kill me. But then again, God spoke to me and said, hey, you told me to do a miracle, now it's your part. And that's when the Bible verse came to my mind. You know, la Biblia dice, la fe sin obra es muerta.
Come on.
So you know what I'm saying? God said, you know, tú me pediste que los durmiera, que te quitara eso, ya está. Entonces ahora tú acciona tu fe, activa tu fe y camina. So I was like, oh man, so I got up and I said, let's do this. So I tried to go to the bed to go to the side of the door, and then I turn and I see the door and it's open a little bit. So I walk to the door like this, and then I open the door, and these guys are snoring still. When I get out, I close the door and I look to the stairs, and the other three guys, they were sitting down watching TVs, snoring too. Everybody was snoring.
Amen.
And I was like, and when I saw, I turned and there was a glass door with the key on there, with no protection, straight on the roof. So I go to the door, I open the key, and I open it, but I'm shaking because I can't walk, because man, trust me, you will see the pictures, you will be like, man, how can this guy walk? And I open the door and I'm almost shaking and I could barely walk. And then when I hit the azotea, I hear a voice loud in my head say, run. And you know I'm trouble. So in Mexico, the houses are like 1.5 meters away. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run, but in case I don't make it, I don't wanna fall and have these guys like find me there later. So I said, I'm gonna jump like that. So I could like land halfway. So I run and then I jump, but when I jump, man, I'm not lying, I feel like Michael Jordan, man. I was like, flying. I got to the other house and I turned and I said, man, how did I jump this far? And I heard run, so I kept on running and I jumped, and I remember I counted 30 houses. I was jumping roof by roof, roof by roof. And then when I got to this neighborhood, I got down and I'm walking and I'm all full of blood, no shirt, no shoes, or with duct tape all over the place. And I was trying to stop cars, nobody would stop. They were all like, auxilio and everything. I was like, please, ayúdame and everything. And then this lady just like stops. She rolls down the window and she's like, I know you. You're Oscar, I saw you on the news. Everybody thinks you're dead. And I say, I know, I just escaped, please help me. So she's like, hop in the car, I jump in the car, and I'm laying in the back seat, I'm filling all the back seat with blood. And she's like, where do you want to go? And I said, give me your phone. She's like, I didn't bring it. I said, I gotta call my wife and my family, they're gonna go after them before. If I don't get to them before, they're gonna go and kill them. And she's like, where can I take you? And I said, take me to my friend's house. So we went to my friend's house. I got out, and as soon as I walked inside, boom, I broke down. I couldn't walk no more. Like I said, no more powers for you. So I fall down, they grab me, they pick me up, they put me in the bathtub, they started showering me. I call my wife and I say, hey, Areli. And she's like, Oscar, she starts crying. I say, grab the kids. Don't take nothing and leave, and you're never coming back. And I said, as soon as I hang up, just leave. Boom, I call my brother, the same thing. I call my dad, the same thing. And I just want to finish telling you guys that a month and a half ago, I left home and I never came back. And you know, that's when you gotta realize the power of God, but at the same time, you gotta always cherish and enjoy what God gives you. You know what I'm saying? Because I left my house. I never knew that day I was never gonna come back. I left my country, I left my city with no shoes, with no shirt. I had a towel covering my face. I lost my money, they took all my money, they emptied my bank accounts, they took my cars, I left my house, I left my wife's house, my parents' house, my brother's house, and we all had to escape. And we never came back. We got there and I was there all depressed and everything to the city. I was hiding, in a wheelchair. And I said, God, you know, I made a promise to you, I was gonna serve you. Now I gotta fulfill that promise, but where do I go? What do I do? And I have family all over the States and all over Mexico. They were like, come here, we'll help you, this and that. I was like, no. And I remember that I met this guy at Levo in January of this year in Orlando. So as I was praying, he came to my mind. So I called him and I said, yo, Levo. No, I texted him and I said, hey, Levo, what's up? You remember me? He's like, yeah. And I was like, man, I got kidnapped. Here's the pictures. I'm praying, you came to my mind, what's up? And he's like, he called me, he FaceTimed me, he was with Pastor Marcus, the church that I'm at in Orlando. And then I made him come to Orlando right now. And I was like, oh man, okay. And I'm like, man, I can't walk. And they're like, we're gonna pray for fast healing. So they prayed, I hung up the phone, this business partner called me, he's like, Oscar, what do you need? And I said, I need money. So he sent me money, I bought my plane ticket, that was on a Thursday. On Friday, I'm on a plane to Mexico City. I get to Mexico City to be there Saturday and Sunday, and then on Monday I was supposed to come to Orlando. I'm there, and this at the church that my sister goes to. There's this prophet that this God uses her really good. And I said to my sister, I want to go. So I get there, and it's a full church, like 500 people. And I'm sitting there in the front row, all messed up, depressed, couldn't walk in a wheelchair. And she's preaching. I know when she touched me, she points at me, she says, Oscar. And I go like this, and she's like, ¿Sí tú? Y yo, yo okay. And she's like, you know, tú sabes, Dios te usaba. Y tú le pedías a Dios y Dios cumplía todos los pensamientos de tu corazón. Porque tú tenías un corazón como un niño. Y por eso Dios siempre te respaldaba. Boom, she starts saying everything from when I served God until the point that I left the church. And she said everything. And then she said, you know, y a ti te secuestraron por esto. Y cuando tú estabas enojado con Dios, when you were mad at God, even though you were mad at God, God was there next to you. And He protected you. And He didn't even let them touch anything from you. And He just let them touch the bottom part of your body because He wanted the rest from you. And she's like, and you know what? When you left, when you escaped because God was something for you with you. And God was to use you. And she starts going off. And she said, and you know you couldn't jump and you couldn't walk. And when you were on the roofs jumping, it was God pulling you with angels and pulling you from roof to roof. And then I'm crying. And she's like, come here, come on, I want to pray for you. So I walked there, you know, messed up. And she starts praying. She's like, I'm going to pray for you so God heals your bones and everything from your body. Because you're going to go serve God and you're going to leave the country, you're going to link up with people that do the same thing as you, and God's going to use you. So she grabs me, she hugs me, and I say, I'm going to Orlando tomorrow. And she's like, that's where you need to go. Go, and God's going to protect you, and nothing's going to happen to you or your family. So she hugs me, we start praying, and well, long story short, the next day I flew to Orlando, met with Level again, and now I'm here. So I want to tell you all that God is real, and whenever you ask God, He will make it true, and you got to believe it. Hay un texto de la Biblia que dice que si tuvieras fe como un grano de mostaza, tú le podrías decir a una montaña que se mueva. You know, sometimes we just believe God. Oh, God could do this, God could do that. Pero, and we always have that pero, right? Dios puede sanar, pero tómate la medicina. Dios puede bendecirme, pero voy a meterme a trabajar horas extras. And stuff like that. We never believe that God is still doing miracles like He used to do in the Bible. Because He saved me and He did a miracle in me. So I just want to encourage you all to trust God and to believe in Him to the fullest, because God will make everything come true. God bless you.
Amen. Come on, give the Lord a big hand. How many were blessed this morning by His testimony? Amen. And powerful. What God is able to do, man. You might find yourself in a hard place, you might find yourself in a hopeless place, but God specializes in those kind of places. Can I hear an amen, somebody? Come on, give the Lord one more big hand. And as we get ready to close, why don't we all stand to our feet? I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I believe that a lot of it was already put out there. We just saw powerful testimonies of what God has done within their life, but right now I believe God wants to do something in your life here this morning. The Bible talks about that we serve a God that is on time, and He's a way maker. He's a way maker. Wherever you're at right now, and whatever you may be experiencing right now, and you need a miracle or you need a breakthrough, our God is a way maker. He's a way maker. And He's a God that is always right on time. He's never late. He's always right on time. Amen. And what I want to say this morning, right before we get ready to close, is that as we understand that God is a way maker and that God goes before us and He makes every crooked path straight, we on our part, like Oscar said, and also like Level said, that what our part is that we should never give up. Don't ever give up. Yep. You know, God will make a way, but He requires us to walk through it. To walk through it. The Bible says that when we walk through the river, we will not be overtaken by it. When we walk through the fire, we won't be burned. There's going to be things that we have to walk through. And we understand that it's going to get hard sometimes. Turn to your neighbor and say, it gets hard sometimes. Okay, they look at you kind of funny, then they're in a hard place. Amen? It's going to get hard sometimes. There's times that we're going to struggle. There's times that they're going to seasons that we're going to go through where God is doing the process, like Level had talked about being like in the washer. That's a process. You got to be rinsed. You got to be soaked. Some of them need to be soaked a whole lot. Amen? Come on. Because some of the things are stubborn. They don't want to come off of us. And it was a good illustration that, like a washer. And then you go through the rinse, and then you go through the spin. And how many know sometimes in the spin, you get a little confused, amen? And God's just trying to rearrange things within our life. But then you forgot about the dryer. Because if it doesn't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the dryer. And the dryer represents heat, it represents fire. I don't know about you, but fire is good because fire purifies. Fire removes things that other things can't take out. And it's a process that we all go through, that God, from the very beginning. You hear two powerful testimonies, these two men of God that have been through a lot, they survived, man. And you know what? God has a call on them. It's powerful. They have anointing on their life. They have God's grace on their life. They're just beginning. I can see it. And I can sense it. I know you sensed it this morning as well. But at the same time, God has something for you as well. You're here this morning, you're wow, you heard that. But God is doing something in your life. You might be going through a season, like I said, that is hard. But we as the people of God, we can't give up. You can't give up. When you think about giving up, it means to yield control or possession of. It means to surrender, to abandon oneself to a particular feeling, influence, or activity. Now when you think about giving up, it's because you're feeling the pressure. And usually we feel the pressure coming from without. Sometimes it's within, because God works us within, but the enemy works with us from out. But we as the people of God, we need to understand we need not to never give up on our salvation, knowing that the Bible says in Philippians 2:12 that we are to continue to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. Don't give up. It's going to take work. It's going to take labor. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. Amen? And not only that, but never give up on your calling. God has a call on your life. And the calling of God is irrevocable. He's not taking it back. He didn't make a mistake. God called you like He called these men, like He called my life. He pulled me out of the pit, out of gang violence. And I was a heroin addict for a lot of years in the projects in East LA. Where God found me and He pulled me out. And there was a call that was on my life. Over 20-something years ago, He put me in a men's home. Men's home like the one we have. It began to rearrange my life. It began to renew my mind, soften my heart. It began to put a new chapter in my life. The old was gone and the new was coming. All that was from God. It wasn't easy. It's not easy. It's still not easy. But you never give up on your calling. Never give up on your calling. Never give up on your dream. The dreams that God has laid within your spirit, the dreams that God has showed you, that only you know about. Don't give up on that. You will see it happen. God is not a liar, amen? And God has the power to bring every dream to pass. As long as you don't give up on it. You got to fight for it. Can I hear you? You know how we used to fight in the world? You know how we used to be stubborn in the world? With that kind of mindset, that's how we have to be in our dream. You got to be stubborn. I'm stubborn for God. Can I hear an amen? And I know God's going to do everything that He told me He was going to do. Don't give up on your dream. And then the last thing, never give up while you're under attack. When you feel the fire of hell chasing right on all sides of you, that's not the time to give up. That's not the time to give up and give in and to lose the strength or to faint. That's the time that we got to press in. Can I hear an amen, somebody? That's the time that we got to stir up the Holy Ghost within our life. Can I hear an amen, somebody? We got to get on our face in prayer and say, God, I need a breakthrough. God, I need a miracle within my life, God. I'm weak, I'm really tired right now. But I know you're a miracle working God. And I know the Holy Ghost is in my spirit. And you got to stir up the warrior within you. Stir it up. When you get under attack, don't give in and let go. That's the time you need to kick in the faith. Can I hear that, somebody? And that's when we got to walk by faith and not by sight. You might not be feeling it. There might be days that you wake up and you don't even feel saved. You don't feel anything happening in your life. Just know that God is at working in your life. Can I hear that? And you got to stand up and say, I ain't feeling it, but I know that I know that I know in my knower that my God is real. My God is alive. He pulled me out of that pit. He picked me up out of that hard place. He put His Spirit in me and He gave me life. He gave me life, and therefore I'm going to stand. And you stand on God's promises. You stand on the Word of God. Don't be a wimp. Turn your neighbor and say, don't be a wimp. soldiers. We're soldiers in the army of the Lord. We're soldiers. We gotta press through. We gotta move forward. We gotta advance. We've been talking about taking dominion. We're taking dominion. We're taking back everything the devil done stole. Can I hear it from somebody? I said we're taking back everything the devil done stole. We're taking it back. Why? Because Jesus Christ has given us the legal right to it all. We gotta stand on God's promises. We never don't give up. Don't give up. I'm gonna have the worship team come on up right now. Let me just give you this one scripture.